Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Money Codes. My name is Joel and I'm here to give you your daily money code fix. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about annualcreditreport.com, and I'm going to go over why I believe it is the best resource if you are serious about monitoring and cleaning up your credit report. So recently I did a video on charge-offs, how they affect your credit report, how you're able to get rid of it, dispute. And the first thing I mentioned is you need to actually have access to your credit profile. So how can we dispute anything if we don't know what's on our credit reports to begin with? So the website I recommend is annualcreditreport.com. So now this usually leads to a little bit of confusion because some people go to Credit Karma, some people use My Fico, some people use Credit Sesame. I think you can use Mint in several different apps. But the reason why I like annualcreditreport.com is because number one, under FCRA guidelines, and FCRA is basically the rule book that governs how you and I as consumers are able to access our reports and dispute our reports. Basically, the whole credit repair industry is based off of the rules that are in FCRA. FCRA made it a rule so that once per year, the big three, Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian, they have to give us access to our credit reports at least once per year, just so that we're able to understand what's on our credit report. That gave birth to the website annualcreditreport.com. That is government regulated, so you can rest assured that that is the real deal Holyfield when it comes to what is actually on your credit report. And now because of COVID-19, they are actually allowing us to be able to access our credit profiles once per week instead of once per year. And this also reminds me that I've heard a lot of people try to do different strategies back when you only were able to access it once per year. Some people would try to pull their TransUnion credit report, let's say in January, and then around May they will try to pull their Equifax, and at the end of the year they will pull their Experian and try to spread it out over the course of the year. I get why they're trying to do that, but also keep in mind that not everything that's on your TransUnion credit report is going to be the same as your Equifax credit report. So if you're only pulling your TransUnion credit profile and someone is trying to do identity theft and they actually went to a bank that is using Experian or Equifax, if the only thing that you see or you have a record of is TransUnion, you're not going to be able to see what those other reports are doing. So I say all that to say you have the opportunity now because of COVID-19. You have no excuse. It's free. Go to annualcreditreport.com. You don't need to split it up every quarter. Don't worry about any of that. Every single week, if you are trying to dispute your credit reports, if you're trying to dispute collections, lates, charge-offs, you need to be going to this website, and it's free. You cannot beat free. All right, so what are the benefits of using this website? I already mentioned it before. This is government regulated. So this is the 100% way to know for sure what is actually attached to your credit profile, what's on your credit reports. I've seen firsthand examples of someone going to Credit Karma and accounts not showing there. And later on, we went to annualcreditreport.com and we got to see the full real picture. Benefit number two, identity theft protection. I have another video where I go completely in depth about how to prevent identity theft. And if you do believe that you are a victim of identity theft, what are the actions and the preventative measures that you can take to take care of that issue for you? If you haven't watched that video, I'll link that up above. But again, if you're able to pull your credit reports and you're making sure that your name, your address, all of your information is accurate, you're going to make it a lot harder for somebody to go in and try to open up accounts under your name. Benefit number three, it's our right. They gave us the right to be able to check it, so why not go ahead and do it? And what are the cons? Well, the only potential con to using the website is you're not going to get access to your FICO score. Remember, annualcreditreport.com is going to give you your consumer disclosure. So this is the raw information, all of your accounts, all of your names, all of your addresses, all of the information just in a raw, unprocessed form you're going to be able to get access to. When you go to My Fico is taking that information and they're weighing it against their algorithm, and then they pop out a FICO 8 score for you or a FICO 9 score for you. Credit Karma does the same thing. They take all of this information that we're about to get and then they weigh it against their Vantage score algorithm, and then that's why you go into Credit Karma and then they pop out a Vantage score for you for TransUnion and Equifax. So basically, we can get the information for free, but if you're looking to get your scores, then I would highly recommend that you go to myfico.com to get your scores. But in my opinion, getting access to what's actually on your credit profile is more important, because if we're able to get our credit reports and delete all of the derogatory items and start adding all of the positive items, and we do it in the right way, in the right steps, a good credit score is going to come as a byproduct. So right now, I'm not worried about that. So now in a second, I'm going to go inside of the computer and I'm going to show you how to access this website to make sure you're not going anywhere that is sketchy. And then we're going to access our credit reports. But here are some of the things that you need to pay attention to once you get your credit reports in hand. I want you to pay attention to your name. I want you to pay attention to your addresses, your employers. If you notice any accounts that don't look right at all, if you see any inquiries that don't look right, anything that looks funny, I want you to print out and I want you to highlight it, because then we're able to dispute accordingly. Again, if you think you are somebody that is a victim of identity theft, go and watch my previous video and I'll take care of that for you. So without further ado, let's jump right in and let's see how we can use annualcreditreport.com to our benefit to clean up our credit reports. All right, so we are back. We are back on annualcreditreport.com. You can see here in the URL bar, annualcreditreport.com. I would advise that you double and triple check that you are on the correct website. I've said this to a few people before, and they would end up going to Google and typing in annual credit report and clicking on an advertisement or a different website. I highly recommend that you go to your URL browser, annualcreditreport.com, and then you'll see here the only source for your free credit reports authorized by federal law. This is the only website that will provide that information for you. You can see here, during the COVID-19 pandemic, accessing your credit is important. That is why Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion are continuing to offer free weekly credit reports. So I'm not sure how long they're going to continue giving us access every week. If they are offering this to us, I highly recommend that we go ahead and we take them up on that offer. So now let's go ahead and see how to access our credit reports. Now, for me, I know I'm in the middle of a dispute right now with Equifax. I'm trying to still update some personal information. So I may not get it here on this go round, but the process is still the same. I should still be able to get my TransUnion and my Experian. But regardless, the same process that I'm going through right now is going to be very similar for you. So we're going to start off clicking this red button, request your free credit reports. I'm going to click that right here. Fill out form. We're going to request. And most of this I'm just going to just blur just for security purposes, but just kind of follow along first, second, and third steps what I'm doing and just put in your information. All right, so it asked me for my personal information. It asked me to put in my name, my social, my birth date. Now I'm going to put in my address, and you see here it says, have you lived at this address for 2 years or more? If you are someone that has changed addresses, let's say maybe you're in the military or you went from one apartment, you bought a home, you may have different information on your credit profile that is not accurate. So if you are at a brand new address, go ahead and put no, and then also put in your previous address. This is another example of what I mean by always keeping your credit reports and your credit profile updated with only your current information. Otherwise, you may have addresses from 5, 6, 10 years ago that you never updated. And if you still have your old addresses, you may still be getting solicited items from different financial institutions, from different banks that you previously did work with. You don't want to have any old addresses still on your credit report, because whoever's living at your old address may be still getting items that are supposed to be sent to you. That's a security issue, and that's one of the reasons why people suffer from identity theft. So let me go ahead and put my information in. All right, so now on this page, after I put in my information, they're asking me, do I want to request all three, or do I want to just pick and choose? When we were only allowed to get access to our credit reports one time per year, This is the strategy that some people try to do. They would request their Experian on this month, wait several months, then request their TransUnion, wait several months, and then try to get their Equifax. I would rather have access to all of my items at the same time. My Experian today doesn't mean that information or items or hard inquiries or derogatory items aren't being messed around on my Equifax. So again, I highly recommend to just get everything at once. So in the future, if annual credit report decides to change this rule and we're only able to get it one time per year, at that point, I recommend just going to my FICO or going into the description of this video and just paying a monthly fee to get your credit monitoring. But since this is free, let's just go ahead with this, and we're going to select all three and we're going to check next. Give me 5 minutes to answer several questions. And again, I'm going to blur all of this out, but just know that in order to get access to any of your credit reports, you have to answer some security questions. If you're not able to answer it, and if it doesn't match with what's on your credit profile right now, you're not going to be able to get access, and you're going to have to do additional verification. So now I'm on the sub portal for Experian. And again, I'm going to blur everything out, but you can see here, there's a link to print your report. Now you can physically print this if you have a printer nearby, or you can select the option to just save it as a PDF and store it locally on your desktop. So all you would have to do is click print your report. It's going to take you to another website, and then you can literally just print it out, or you can do file, save as PDF, and save it to your desktop. So that's how I got my Experian. So within a matter of minutes, I got my Experian credit report. Now it says get your next report. I'm going to click that. See that the Experian one has a check mark because I was successfully able to get my Experian report. Now you see a green arrow that says TransUnion, so we're going to click that one next. It has my information pulled up. It's asking me to verify some additional information. I'm going to click continue. Union is asking me to verify my phone number. Let's do text messages. I don't remember doing this previously, but let me go ahead and go along with this. Verify my identity. The page is a little bit different. You can still see here, I have the access to print or save my report. If I click on that, you can see over to the right, I have the option to save as a PDF and click save. So again, you have the option if you want to physically print it out and with a highlighter go through all of your accounts. That'll probably be a good way, but because we are in a digital age, you still have the PDF way as well. Save some trees and have it locally stored on your hard drive. So I'm not going to do either one because I really don't need this. This is just for demonstration purposes. So I'm just going to hit cancel. And then I'm going to hit get next report. So at this point, I already received my Experian and I received my TransUnion. And it's now telling me, am I sure I want to leave TransUnion and go back to annual credit report? I do. So it seems as though me doing commentary during the video has timed me out. So if you're doing it yourself, just kind of be quick with it. So let me see if I need to do this again. All right, so I had to go back in and do the whole process again because I guess I was talking a little bit too much. So now let me just do the Equifax and see what it says. So notice how all the web pages in each bureau is a little bit different. They're asking for the same info, but it's a little bit different. That's okay. Just verify the information that they are requesting. All right, so as expected, Equifax is not going to let me get this one done digitally. I am in the middle of doing a dispute and I'm updating personal information with Equifax. So really, this is a good thing. If your information isn't accurate, if you're disputing your addresses and your names, and then you try to go back in the middle of the dispute, it may be a little bit more difficult to get it online. I called the customer service department. They told me that if I go ahead and I fax in 2 forms of ID, they'll be able to assist me with discussing what's on my credit report and giving me access to my credit report. Right now, I'm only doing disputes with Equifax, so that's why I ran into this problem. It's very easy to use this website. It doesn't take long at all. It took longer for me because I was walking you through and adding commentary. But if you're doing it and you're serious about it, you can do this entire process literally within 5 to 10 minutes max. And every single week, I will just continually do this over and over again just to keep an eye out on what's going on with your credit profile. And if you run into this problem like I have right now with information not syncing up, or you're in the middle of a identity dispute, you'll just have to submit some additional documentation and you'll still be able to get your credit reports that way. So that's pretty much the end of the video. That is how you access all 3 of your credit reports. And now you have the information to go through, look at all of your accounts, highlight anything that is inaccurate, highlight any misspellings, wrong address, incorrect accounts, dates, amounts, and now you can start your dispute process. So hopefully you got some insight from this video. If you did, go ahead and like and subscribe. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.